Seahawks Today coming up in just a moment. We want to make sure that we get this show out to as many people as possible. We need your help. Can you share today's show? Here's what I need you to do. Click the share button, select the Facebook icon, and then click Post to Facebook. From there, sound off in the description and let your voice be heard on what you think about your Seattle Seahawks and let people know why they should watch our show. Tag us, Seattle Seahawks from Chat Sports, and that way we know that you've shared our show and we can show you some love on a future edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. Share the show. We certainly would appreciate it. Help us scratch our back. We'll scratch your back, and we'll get started here on today's show. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us here on Seahawks Today as we are breaking down the Seattle Seahawks depth chart for the 2024 season. As projected by Pro Football Focus, we will show you what PFF is projecting for the Seahawks starters on offense and defense, as well as their takeaways, their thoughts on the Seahawks, react to it. PFF is ranking the Seahawks as the 17th best team in the NFL heading into 2024. And with that, let's start with their takeaways. The biggest strength, according to PFF, is the corner room. And when you look at this corner room, you're led by Devon Witherspoon, who had a fantastic rookie season. You got to think he'll build upon that. Rick Woolen is back after a down year in 2023, but he's looked good in OTAs. Got to think he'll turn things around. And then you got some other guys involved. Mike Jackson, a very solid veteran. Trey Brown, a more than capable veteran. And you brought in a couple rookies, a part of the equation as well. The Seahawks have depth. They have more than enough guys capable of getting the job done. Corner is going to be a great spot for this Seahawks team. Biggest weakness for the Seahawks, according to PFF, is pass protection. Look, we always know you got to have protection, right? And when you look at this Seahawks offensive line, Abraham Lucas coming off knee surgery, there's skepticism about if he will ever be the same. We know about the interior of the offensive line. Is Laken Tomlinson going to be good enough? Is it going to be Christian Haynes or Anthony Bradford? A couple of young guys there. You got Olu starting at center, and we'll see what he does. Charles Cross, as much as I like Charles Cross, he's had some injury issues too. The pass protection being the biggest weakness is very fair. The X factor of this team, according to PFF, is Abraham Lucas, and rightfully so. Is Abraham Lucas going to be healthy and be the thing that takes this offensive line to the next level, or is this going to be an ongoing problem all season long? The rookie to watch, according to PFF, is Christian Haynes. Look, I think we all feel pretty good about Byron Murphy, that Byron Murphy is going to be a great player in the National Football League. But Christian Haynes, it remains to be seen. If he develops pretty quickly, that'll go a long ways for this offensive line. If he takes a while to adjust, then that could mean holding back the rest of the offensive line if he can't put it all together. We'll see, but I'm very optimistic about Haynes. The over-under win total for the Seahawks is 7.5. PFF is taking the under on the win total for the Seahawks for the 2024 season. I think when I look at all the takeaways of what PFF said about the Seahawks, for the most part, pretty fair, except for the fact they're selling the Seahawks short on the win total. I think this team is going to easily reach more than 7.5 wins. I think it's unfair to say that this team is only capable of 7 wins or less this year. I think this team could surprise some people and do a lot better than that. So without further ado, here's PFF's depth chart for the Seahawks. Geno Smith, your starting quarterback, coming off a season with a very impressive 82.9 passing grade, where he'll look to build upon that in an offense that should suit him more under Ryan Grubb, this air raid scheme, comparably speaking to what he played in previously. Kenneth Walker III, key thing for him is staying healthy. 2 straight years now where he's dealt with injuries, but when he was out there, he was pretty solid with an 83.5 grade, according to PFF last season. Next to him is Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet, the second-year running back out of UCLA, comes in with a PFF grade of 69.7 from a year ago. Outstanding efficiency, according to PFF numbers from both Smith and Walker with their grades from last year. Now it's time to build off of that. Now it's time to take that next step forward. Kenneth Walker to become that Pro Bowl quarterback. Geno Smith to go from good to great. That's what I want to see from both these guys as they enter 2024. How would you grade the Seahawks depth chart? 12s, it's your time to go back to school. Weigh in the comments section. Give me your grade for what you think of this depth chart for Seattle heading into 2024. DK Metcalf, your top receiver, coming in with a strong grade from last year, an 80.0. Well, Tyler Lockett with a pretty solid grade himself, a 78.1 last season. All the talk over OTAs has been about Jackson Smith and Jigba. JSN looking to improve off of a rookie campaign that saw him with a 63.3 grade. And then at the tight end spot, Noah Fant. This is the most important season of his entire career, as he is the guy now. He's not sharing it with Will Dissly. They've paid him a good chunk of change. They want him to be a top 10 tight end in this league, and that's the expectation. A grade like 62.9 like he did a year ago is not going to be good enough for this Seahawks offense. He's got to do better than what he did last year. The offensive line, Charles Cross, your starting left tackle, 67.6 grade. So far, hasn't lived up to the hype of a top 10 pick. Seahawks are hoping this is a breakout year for him. Laken Tomlinson, we've seen him play at a Pro Bowl level as recently as 2021. He's coming off a down year with the New York Jets last year, where his grade was a 55.0. Oluwatimi at the center spot. He comes in with a 53.1 grade, but the Seahawks coaching staff seems very optimistic that Olu is going to take a huge step in the right direction and potentially be even better than Evan Brown, who he's replacing at that spot from a season ago. Christian Haynes' PFF grade last year in college was an 80.2 there at UConn, and the expectation is that he's very pro-ready, that he can be a starter day one for this Seahawks team and ultimately win that competition, beating out Anthony Bradford for that starting right guard spot. Abraham Lucas, hopefully he stays healthy, but then when he's out there, can he get the work done, be more consistent? 53.1 was his grade from last year. I agree with the projections of the offensive line. I do think this is your starting five. If they stay healthy, I expect Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas to have their best seasons that they've had yet in their career. But that is a big if they stay healthy. It's going to be critical. That's going to be crucial, important. We shall see. What's your confidence level with the Seahawks offensive line right now? Scale it for me 1 through 10. How you feeling about this group? Be honest, 1 through 10, how you feeling? Give it a score in the comments section below. Father's Day is around the corner, and take care of your dad, the number one dad in your life, by getting a Seahawks number one dad shirt on sale now while supplies last. Still time to get this shirt before Father's Day gets here. Go ahead and see for yourself. Chatsports.com/SeahawksDad. Might stumble upon some free shipping as well. Go see for yourself. Chatsports.com/SeahawksDad. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. To the defense we go. That's where we find Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams was the best player on the Seahawks defense in the second half of 2023 last year. He's got a new contract. He had a solid grade last year of a 76.9. Byron Murphy, the first-round pick out of the University of Texas, was outstanding at UT. He was the second highest graded defensive lineman in all of college football last year with a 91.1 grade. He's expected to step into a starting role from the get-go. Uchenna Nwosu back from injury, and we didn't see a ton of him last year as he dealt with that season-ending injury, and his grade last year was a 68.5. One noticeable thing you may have seen from that starting defensive line projection, no Jaron Reed. I expect Byron Murphy to come in right away and make an impact and to be a well-deserved starter, but don't sleep on Jaron Reed's potential role in this defense as well. Remember, he's not just an interior defensive lineman. He's got experience playing as a defensive end as well. I expect Mike McDonald and AD in this defense to get creative with whatever role they carve out for Jaron Reed. Darrell Taylor projected to be a starting edge, according to PFF, coming off a year with a 50.9 grade last season. We know Darrell Taylor can get after the quarterback, but everything else he struggles with. Kind of a one-trick pony, if you will. Boye Mafe set the single-season record for sacks in a row with 7 straight games. He finished with 9 sacks total last year in his second year. He had a 73.9 grade last year. Terrell Dodson will be your green dot linebacker, replacing Bobby Wagner. And the big difference between him and Bobby Wagner and Jordan Brooks is how well he does in coverage. He was the highest graded linebacker in the entire NFL last year with a 90.2 there in Buffalo. His running mate expected to be Jerome Baker. Baker had a 66.6 grade last season there with the Miami Dolphins, and Baker coming off of injury. He's not expected to be a full go till training camp. I don't like the idea of Darrell Taylor playing a more significant role than Derek Hall, the second-year player out of Auburn. I think that Hall is going to see more playing time than Darrell Taylor will, but that doesn't mean that Darrell Taylor won't be involved. I just think that Derek Hall is a more complete player, a better fit for what the Seahawks are looking to do. If you had to pick an edge, which one do you like better, Darrell Taylor or Derek Hall? Type Taylor for Darrell Taylor. Type Hall for Derek Hall. Weigh in the comments section. Let us know what you think. We are bringing you daily Seahawks coverage here on the channel as we have our news and rumors. We have weekly live shows, not just once, but twice a week here on Seahawks Today. We're simming the entire season on Madden as well, so make sure to join us for all our content, our Q&A mailbags. This is your Seahawks offseason headquarters. As OTAs wraps up, we turn our attention to mandatory minicamp, and training camp will be here before you know it. Subscribe now for free. Lock us in, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. Let's wrap up with the secondary. Rick Woolen coming off a down year. His sophomore season where he had a grade of 67.1. He's playing with a chip on his shoulder. I expect a bounce-back year from Rick Woolen. Devon Witherspoon, the rookie, was a Pro Bowler in 2023. He was fantastic with an 84.1 grade, and he's supposed to be kind of a freelancer, a floater, if you will, at the nickelback spot for Seattle this year. Mike Jackson gets the nod over Trey Brown for the starting outside corner role with a 77 grade, although I do think Trey Brown will still be involved quite a bit as well. Your safeties include Rayshawn Jenkins, who the Seahawks brought over from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Didn't have a great PFF grade of a 60.9 last year, but he was very good when it came to creating turnovers. Julian Love was a Pro Bowler last year. He slides in with a 72.8 grade off a Pro Bowl appearance. I think that Julian Love can take another step forward this year and earn himself a nice contract extension. This position group has come a long way since the beginning of the offseason, and I think it's going to be a strength of this team. I know some people are saying that the safety spot is good but not great. I think that Julian Love and Rayshawn Jenkins are going to surprise some folks. Thanks for watching today's show. Share the video. We certainly would appreciate it, and we shall see you next time here on Seahawks Today.